Have you ever sat in a room full of people and still felt invisible? Have you ever laughed with everyone else while carrying a sadness nobody could see? Have you ever wondered why you can be accepted by many people, yet still feel like you belong nowhere? If you have, this is not just a video. This is a mirror. There was a young man named John. Everywhere he went, he adapted. With one group, he became funny. With another group, he became serious. With another group, he became successful. With another group, he became whatever they wanted him to be. People liked him. People invited him. People accepted him. Yet, every night something felt wrong. One evening, he looked through years of photos, birthdays, gatherings, celebrations, smiles everywhere. Then a strange thought entered his mind. Why do I feel lonely in almost every picture? The answer shocked him. Because in every video, in every photo, everyone could see his face, but nobody had ever met the real person behind it. For years, he had been collecting acceptance while starving for belonging. And there is a difference, a painful difference. Acceptance says you can stay if you fit in. Belonging says you can stay exactly as you are. Many people spend decades chasing the first while secretly needing the second. Most people think belonging is something you find. A perfect group, a perfect relationship, a perfect community. But what if belonging is not something you find? What if belonging is something you stop running from? Because there's a hidden reason many people never feel at home anywhere. And it has nothing to do with other people. Look closely at your own life. How often do you hide part of yourself? How often do you silence your opinion to avoid conflict? How often do you pretend you are okay when you are not? How often do you laugh at things you don't find funny? How often do you become smaller so others feel comfortable? Many people are not rejected by others. They are rejected by themselves first. Every day, they abandon pieces of who they are, their truth, their feelings, their dreams, their voice. Then they wonder why they feel disconnected. But how can you feel connected to others when you have disconnected from yourself? That is the hidden wound, and millions are carrying it without realizing it. Ancient wisdom tells us that birds do not spend their lives trying to become fish. Trees do not compare themselves to rivers. The rivers belong in the valley. The mountain belongs in the sky. The stars belong in the night. Everything in nature belongs because it is fully itself. Only human beings are taught that they must become something else because they deserve a place. And that belief creates enormous suffering, because the soul becomes exhausted trying to earn what was never supposed to be earned. My dear friend, the deepest fear is not being alone. The deepest fear is being rejected after showing who you truly are. For many people, this fear started early. Maybe they were criticized. Maybe they were ignored. Maybe they learned that love came only when they behaved a certain way. So slowly, the nervous system created a survival strategy. Hide the real self. Show the acceptable self. And that strategy may have protected you as a child, but it becomes a prison as an adult. Because what protects you from rejection also protects you from belonging. My dear friend, here is the truth, the full revelation. You do not belong because everyone understands you. You belong because your existence already has value. Long before you impress anyone, long before you achieve anything, long before you prove yourself. And perhaps that is why one scripture speaks so deeply to the human heart. It says, Psalm 139, verse 14, "You are fearfully and wonderfully made." Think about that. Not repaired and then valuable. Not successful and then valuable. Not approved, then valuable. You are wonderfully made already. Perhaps belonging begins the moment you stop arguing with your own existence. Tonight, I want to give you something, the healing experience. This is the solution. Inner child recognition. Tonight, I want you to do something unusual. Find a photograph of yourself as a child. Not the perfect picture, the real one. Look into those eyes. Then imagine that child standing in front of you. Would you tell that child, "You must change before you deserve a place"? Would you tell them? Would you tell that child, "You must earn your rights before you belong"? Would you tell them? Of course not. You would welcome them. You would protect them. You would remind them they matter. Now, realize something powerful. That child is still inside you. You know, the benefit of this exercise is extraordinary. It begins healing the fracture between who you are and who you think you must become. And when that fracture heals, belonging becomes possible. Dear friend, a river never worries whether it belongs in the ocean. It simply flows, season after season, storm after storm, trusting its nature. Perhaps your soul has become tired because it has been swimming against its own current, trying to become someone else, when all along your deepest peace was waiting in becoming yourself. If you spent years feeling like an outsider, you are not strange. If you spend years wondering where your place is, you are not lost. If you spend years feeling different, that does not mean something is wrong with you. Some of the most beautiful souls in history felt misunderstood before they felt understood. The pain you feel may not be proof that you don't belong. It may be proof that your heart is searching for something real. It may be the quiet question was never, "Where do I belong?" Maybe the question is, "What part of myself have I left behind in order to fit in?" Because the moment you stop abandoning yourself, something extraordinary happens. You begin to feel at home, not because the world changed, but because you finally came back to yourself. And perhaps that is what belonging has always been. Coming home to the person you were before fear convinced you that you had to be someone else. My dear friend, I want to hear from you. What part of this message felt like your story? When did you first feel like you had to change yourself to be accepted? And what truth stayed with you after this video ended? Thanks so much for joining me. Leave your comments in the comment section. I am Pzipporah.